up, y'all? Josh and Isi here once again
with another quality video. So we are back with another Story Time Sunday. Now we left off last time Story Time talking about how we made it official. But we did remember that we actually left out during that process. Yeah, a crucial part of it was me meeting his parents for the first time. So we're gonna touch on that today, as well as, you can tell by the title, our first argument as boyfriend and girlfriend. So we're gonna hop into that today, but before we do,
there is this weird button, right? Tell me if you find it, right? It looks kind of like this, right? It's right below the video. You can just hit that. It costs you nothing. It doesn't do anything besides help us out. So if you could just go ahead and just tap that button real quick, that'd be awesome, right? And then just stick around, watch the video. If you like what you see, there's a button that says subscribe. Go ahead and hit that one too, because I mean, why not? And then you can hit a notification button, right? That lets you know every time we post, because we post really often.
Quality content only. You can ask quality crew in the comments.
They're down in the comments for us voucher right now. They probably beat you to it. They probably been here before you, and they probably already commented. So
definitely,
I'm telling you, the quality crew is very quality.
And if you're just having to stumble across this random story time to you, we do have a story time playlist with the order of our story time, so that you can kind of understand this Josh and Isi journey. Okay, but other than that, let's hop into this video. So do you want to go ahead and say how I met your parents?
All right, so right after February 8th. Now, we told you guys about February 8th, which is our anniversary day, which she and her mother took me out to Red Lobster, and I had
more so my mom.
It was really more so her mom that took us out to Red Lobster and then gave me like the talk. Right? And we still weren't technically official at that point. But we knew we liked each other. Right? You was totally in the bag. You were in there. All right, cool. So we can establish that. So then my birthday is February 11th. Woo woo, Aquarius season. What's up? My parents decided to come down to the school. From Indiana. Shouts out parents. To take me out to dinner for my birthday. So I was like, oh, this is dope. Parents coming in, this and the third. So we were at a basketball game.
This is during track season too.
Yes, this was during her indoor track season. And
I had tried all day, because we have track practice every single day. I tried all day to try to get out of that track practice. And sometimes I finessed my way out of stuff. But this one, they just refused. I think I said like, well, I have a dentist appointment, or I said something like that. But it was night track practice at that indoor school. So yeah, they weren't going at all. I was so pissed off.
She was like a super athlete, so like they just weren't folding.
So this was my first time with the opportunity to even meet his parents, because we weren't together during football season. So I never met them, even just as your friend. I never met them. So I was like really excited and really nervous, and then my coaches just completely put a debt to that. But I went outside with you to say hello to them when they came to take you to dinner.
Yeah, so backtracking, we're at the basketball game, we're kicking it, we're having a good time. My parents said that they were pulling up real soon here, and it was right around the same time that she was about to go to practice.
They invited me too.
Yes, they invited her.
How did they know about me though? You told them over Christmas break or something?
No. This was like the first they knew about you anything. Like I didn't tell my parents anything like.
But then how come they invited me to go to dinner?
Because they saw me with you.
Not that in that moment.
Yes.
No, babe, I promise you. Because how would I have been all day working with the coaches to go to it if I wasn't previously invited? I didn't invite myself. They definitely invited me to come up, tag along for sure. I feel like you might have told them about me, babe.
I may have referenced you, but this is the first time they ever encountered you, which is why I feel like this is the first time I ever introduced you.
No, because I remember apologizing to them, like, sorry, I can't make it. They invited me.
I could have sworn I came outside with you, introduced you, we had our hugs and whatever. They're like, really nice to meet you, this and the third, and then was like, you can come with us.
Nope. Y'all know my memory. I always be saying I don't remember stuff. But when I remember stuff, I remember. And I know for a fact I was invited. I know for a fact.
I don't remember when I told my parents about you then.
Okay.
I thought that was the first time really talking to them about you at dinner that day.
Maybe in depth. But you told them about me. That's all I know.
Yeah, I probably have to ask them like when that happened. I'll have to refresh my memory on that. But anyways, that was the day that they technically met her. It was very short-lived because all I did was go out there and say, hey, this is Isi. But I basically just said, this is my friend. And then they were like, oh my gosh, really nice to meet you. You know, they're friendly. My parents are friendly. So they were really friendly. They're like, okay, cool. They got back in the car. As we were saying our goodbyes, I gave her an extra long hug. And I didn't realize my mom was kind of like spying with the rear view mirror. You know, that side mirror. Anyways, she's looking through the mirror and she's watching. So then, like, as we separate, I get in the car and she was like, so you and Issy hugged for pretty long time, which is why I'm saying.
Which is why you don't think that.
I don't.
So I was invited, babe. I was invited.
You were invited that day. You were invited that day. We had our conversation. Like, they got out the car. I introduced you. Y'all talked and conversed, and then they were like, "You want to come with us to dinner?"
Nope. We need to call them right now. Please call them. Why am I so confident about you calling them? I was invited.
I don't think they did. Here's the thing. Here's why I say they didn't know. Because you didn't attend that dinner, but I did. And all they did was ask me 1,000 questions about you like they didn't know you existed. So how would they have known that me and you were an item?
Please call them.
I gotta, oh gosh. Hold on, y'all. We're gonna pause the video and I'm gonna call my parents so that way we can solve all this.
Doggone it.
It has been confirmed on the phone by my mother that February 11th was the absolute first day that my parents found out anything about young Miss African Beauty here.
The reason.
Oh, please.
I got it.
Just say you're sorry for starting.
I already said it off camera.
Say it on
there.
there.
You trying to make a fool of me.
Say it in there.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now, this is why I got it wrong, y'all, for real though. Josh's parents invited to take him out for his birthday, and he invited me as his guest, and I guess you didn't tell them that.
No.
So I assumed the whole day, this is really your fault, because I assumed the whole day. His mom also said that in that moment when they met me, that's when they invited me.
Exactly.
Officially.
Because they had no clue you existed until that day. We sat outside. Now I can finish my story. So I brought her outside, right? Introduced her to my parents. We had a great back and forth. Hi, how you doing? Issy Meme, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. My parents are looking at us, looking at me, then looking at us, looking at me, looking at us, trying to figure out what's going on. They get back in the car. I give her a long hug, and my mother is watching us in the mirror. She notices that I give her an extra long hug. And then she also noted that she was giving me googly eyes as I got in the car.
I was not.
Therefore,
eye contact is not googly eyes.
all I'm saying is that we were not known by my parents until that day. And they invited you on the spot. They were coming for me.
So you invited me then?
I invited you, but I knew that they would be okay with taking you because they said you can have some friends come with you. All my friends were doing something else.
That sounds familiar, that they said friends could come and you were gonna take me.
And I was like, yo, I'm gonna bring you. So I told you about it that day, and you were trying your best to free up your schedule so that you could come with me to dinner and meet my parents formally and officially, since I had just formally and officially got the talk from your mother.
Alright, well, we acting like this is the story time. This ain't even the actual story time. This is a piece that we should have had another one.
Story, but all I'm saying is, I know what I'm talking about.
Alright, Negro.
Give me kid. Come on.
That
you owe me at least that.
I already apologized.
You owe me at least that.
Now that that's settled, can we get into the actual story
piece of the
time?
story out the way. Now that we got that behind us and we know that.
By the way, give this video a thumbs up, you guys, if y'all would like us to do a sit down video with our parents on what their experience was. Like, from my mom's perspective, what was it like?
First time meeting
taking
us.
you to Red Lobster and blah, blah, blah. And then your parents' experience with like.
That would actually be cool.
I think that would be dope. Yeah, so give this video a thumbs up if you guys want to see a video like that.
With our parents involved.
Yeah, we have to get their permission too. But just confirm for us first, and then we'll handle that.
We'll handle all the other logistics. But anyways.
Our first argument.
So then all this has passed. We're in
April.
We passed March. We already talked about that. Now we're in April. April the 4th, Dante's birthday. Shout out Dante. That's the homie. It was his birthday. And we decided that we were going to go downtown Chicago for his birthday. We all were very relatively new to the metropolitan area of Chicago.
Not me.
They were from Florida. I was from Indiana. She was from Chicago, so she kind of knew about Chicago and stuff. I'm sure you've been to the city a couple more times. Most of us were new to the city. Anyways, we all wanted to go down there, and it was Dante's birthday, so we're like, cool, let's all slide to the thing. At this point, me and EC are an item. Okay, so we're going together. Then it's us.
5 or 6 guys.
5 or 6 guys.
Raven, my girlfriend.
And Raven, her
my
friend.
roommate /
her roommate. So we're all going downtown. Cool, right? Everything was all good on the way there. Everybody's having a good time. Whatever. Then where the argument starts to take place and form is when we make it to
the bean.
Okay, let's work past this together. Okay, so the last time we talked about this was like 2 years ago. And we weren't necessarily ready to have that conversation because we still had feelings about how that went down.
Yeah.
Now I think we're more civil. So I'll start my side, you do your side, we kind of meet in the middle, and then we come to an agreement, right? So from my vantage point, we get to the bean, we enamored with the bean. Cool bean, right? Really dope. We go look at it, cool. They're like, all right, we're trying to move on, whatever, cool. Then EC comes up, hey, I want to take some photos. At this point, I'm torn. Because my boys were like, I don't want to take photos, and they were just...
I didn't hear this, by the way.
They were just walking away. She wanted to stick around, so I'm like, oh, dang.
It's not... I don't like the way you worded it. Stick around. I didn't know that we were moving. I didn't know anybody was trying to move.
Okay, so then once you said you want to take photos, I was like, cool, let's take a quick photo, but they're not trying to take photos. I remember specifically saying they're not trying to take photos.
Okay.
And they were disappearing, like they were walking away.
You saying they not wanting to take photos didn't translate to me as they're gonna leave because they don't want to take any.
Okay, again, I'm gonna work past this. So we're taking the photos. At this point, I'm feeling some type of way because I can't see them anymore. They're gone. So I'm a little blown because I'm torn right now between taking the photos, having a good time with my girl, because we're fresh in this relationship. I'm not trying to screw things up. Still ended up screwing things up. But the boys are left and now I can't find them. I still in the back of my head realize it's Dante's birthday. So I'm like, we're really down here to do what the birthday boy wants to do. At the end of the day, like if it was her birthday, great, I do whatever she wants. But like on birthdays, I kind of just say, I'm on your time, you know? So we end up taking the photos, but then by the time we get done, I don't even know where they're at, so I get hot. And then I do some dumb stuff and snap. It was not called for. I look back on it and absolutely regret it. I think by the time we took it wasn't even that many photos, to be honest. It wasn't even like an extensive thing, but I was just so frustrated because they had left. And so I was like, yo, I'm not trying to take more photos. And you're like, and she said it's okay. We're just taking some photos. It'll be all good. And then next thing I know, I kind of went blank in the head and I just overexerted. I'm not trying to do what you want to do right now. It's Dante's birthday. It's not your birthday. And I did too much. I did entirely too much. I feel like a butthole just thinking about it right now. I did entirely too much. But then after that point, she is now livid with me because I definitely came at her totally sideways. And then she was like, whatever, you go with your boys, whatever, do whatever you want. All I wanted was some photos, that's it. And granted, that is all she wanted. And I feel bad. I really do. I really do feel bad. Then I try and catch up to the boys. She sticks back with her friend. Now I'm kind of power walking through the city trying to find my boys. Once I catch up to them, I feel like they kind of felt some type of way because it was like one of those decision things and I feel dumb. I feel bad and I should have been mad at them too for just leaving because she brings up a good point that your friends wouldn't leave you like that. I just realized we were all kind of immature at the time.
Can I say my point of view?
Yeah.
We get to the B. Mind you, this is sophomore year. I am not an influencer yet. I want to say that because I know sometimes influencers, myself included, can go ham with pictures. We ask somebody to take pictures of us. It's not like 1 or 2. We want a lot until we get that picture, okay? This is not the zone that I'm in at the time. So Yeah, I've been to Chicago, but I never really had been to the beach. I never had explored Chicago like that, honestly. I've been around it because it's so close to my house, but the only time I would do anything in Chicago was like go to the beach with friends or yada yada yada. So that's why it was like a big deal to me. I wanted a picture. Anyway, so we get to the bean. Josh says that they said they weren't trying to take pictures or anything. I didn't hear any of this. We all kind of like were walking in a group, but not really. Even when we got off the train, they were walking far ahead of us, regardless. So we get to the bean. I say I wanted to take some individual pictures, which my roommate took for me, and then I was like, oh, I want to take some with Josh. So I guess the big thing about this was lack of communication, maybe, was our biggest issue, because Josh didn't inform me, nor did I hear them say, oh, we don't want to take pictures. But like he had said, my biggest problem with it, if I would have heard that, and someone, like, I'm not a butthole. If somebody said that they, especially the birthday boy, said, I don't want to take pictures, or I want to keep moving, I wouldn't have been like, nah, I'm not that type of person. So I guess that's why I was kind of upset that I got that angry energy from you anyway, because I'm like, I'm not a person who would try to put myself before someone else if I'm informed that they want to do something different. So yeah, we took the pictures, and I didn't even know where they went. Before I knew it, they were gone. Like, after we took maybe 2 pictures, Josh kind of like started spazzing, and then I realized they weren't even there anymore. And actually took a while to catch up to them.
I know why it took long now. I forgot that you took individual photos and I was waiting on you to take your photos.
But I didn't even take that many, baby.
I know, but still, like.
But this is literally, if you think about the time period, it transpired between maybe like 2 to 5 minutes total. Maybe that's even pushing it. My point is, regardless of taking the pictures, me and my best friends, the way we operate, if somebody's doing something, regardless if we don't want to do it, I'm never gonna leave them. And that was my problem. They just left. Nobody said anything. They didn't say like, hey bro, we're about to blah, 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 you can catch up. Nobody communicated anything. Yet I was the one who got yelled at or scolded or whatever you want to call it after wanting to take a couple pictures. So that's what blew the heck out of me, and I was just done with him after the rest of the day because I didn't feel like I deserved that.
That being said, there was a hella big miscommunication that took place. I was torn between my friends and my new girlfriend, and I felt like there was fault on all 3 sides of this.
I'll agree to that.
I think there was fault on all 3 sides. They left, didn't really appreciate that. We stayed, I don't even think I appreciated that. And I snapped. I really didn't appreciate that. It was a very bad day for our relationship, to be honest. We had to recover from that one. It's in the top 5 probably worst days that we had in our relationship. If I could go back and change days, that would definitely be one of those days that I can change. Even now, 5 years removed, still a little bit of tension. So you can see how like something small or like simple miscommunication can cause extreme problems in the long haul. And I feel like that's the moral of the lesson in this whole thing, is that like communication, the reason why we stress it so much is because we know the good and the bad when it comes to communication. The bad turns out like a situation like we just explained. And it took us like 2 days?
What, after the incident?
2 days, about 2 days after that to really be good. It took us about 2 days to really be good after that, because it obviously if you go back and watch like the video about our year 1, whatever, we argued on that one. We almost got into an argument here.
We weren't gonna get into an argument because we talked about it the other day, but it's just frustrating to talk about because it could have been avoided.
It could have been avoided. And I'm not even gonna try and explain how it could have been avoided, because I feel like that's just gonna cause issues, and I just really want to get past this. But I feel like y'all deserve to know the whole story. If we're gonna do story time, we're gonna tell the whole story. Okay, so that was an example of bad communication. And I know y'all look at us like we're the perfect couple, but we did not. We did not start out perfect. As a matter of fact, we started out very imperfect.
We're still not perfect.
We're still not perfect. And I promise y'all, if we're really gonna walk y'all through our relationship, y'all are gonna see it was
what a real relationship is.
It was rocky for a very long time. It was like, it wasn't just like, oh, I love you. Oh, we're together. Let's make TikToks. Let's do a couples channel. Let's have fun and communicate. That's like year 5, graduated in a relationship. We're good. Now, I'm telling you, final exams were tough. Midterms, tough. We had a couple tests in there, like this one, tough. So if y'all ever have a moment where y'all like, I can't stand them, don't go off of that initial instinct. Because I know in that moment, I was pretty much like, I don't know if this is gonna work. Because if we couldn't communicate on something, yes. In that moment, I did not know if we could communicate properly.
Even though you snapped on me.
Yeah, because it felt like you didn't listen to me when I said that they're leaving us.
I didn't hear this.
Exactly why I said our communication was bad. So when I say like, in that moment, I didn't feel good about the relationship, but I didn't give up. I had to take a day or two to assess how I really felt. And looking back, I'm sure even 2 days after that, looking back, I felt like a trash person for snapping on you. I felt like that was like the last resort and I jumped straight to it. And that's when I had a big look in the mirror that said like, okay, I might have a temper problem.
You did have a temper problem back then though.
I did. I did have a temper problem back then.
I forgot about that.
I used to punch things and that made you uncomfortable.
But you didn't yell at me though, other than kind of that time.
Yeah. But like when I'm with my boys, and that's who I spent most of my time with, we can be aggressive and yell at each other and everything be okay.
You know what's weird? Like, this whole relationship was an adjustment. From going from best friends to more like intimate lovers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's why it still to this day kind of rubs me wrong a little bit. Because that was 2 years into our 2 months into our relationship officially. And the Josh that I knew was the best friend Josh, who was always very sweet to me, very delicate with me, blah, blah, blah. And I know that you've apologized about it. I'm just kind of thinking in perspective, why did it get me that pissed? And I think it's because it was just a different side of you I never saw before. Because you were always, like my friend and very nice and stuff. And now it's the first time I guess I had like pissed you off.
I feel like our relationship then there started like a startup business, right? There's like the rough phase where you don't know how the business is gonna perform. And you're like, we might go in debt, we might go broke and might have to trash the whole business. There was highs and lows, the stocks were shooting down, and then the stocks were going up. But I feel like, now we're flourishing. The business is great. Josh and Isi as a couple, I mean, we're pretty good. We really are a business now. So I feel like through and through, a lot of those tough moments had to happen. And I don't want to say like, thank God for this moment. Cause like, I don't know.
We could have learned in a different way.
I don't know if that was on my prayer list of like things I needed from a relationship. But in essence, I feel like maybe it did have to happen. Maybe I did have to feel like a dick. We had to have that fight because we had to see that side, I guess. And we both agreed that we're okay with it. Now, we changed. After that day, we certainly changed. I don't think I've ever raised my voice at you ever since after that. Not to that magnitude.
No.
I feel like the pitch of my voice has probably gotten to like right here. Most times. And if I get passionate, you start to see a little bit of vein. I feel like that's the most that I've ever gotten. But in that moment, y'all, I was on 10. I don't know why it felt like a breaking point kind of like snap.
Because you said the other day you felt like you were starting to have to choose between me and them. You were spending more time with me than them.
It was a rough time. That was a rough transition. Going from all of us being cool.
But even all of us being cool, you still had your boy time. Like I wasn't with y'all all the time.
Like I don't know how that day would have played out if we weren't in a relationship. But either way, I know how it did play out. And it didn't play out the way I would have liked it to. Still feel bad. I'm not gonna sit here and apologize again. I've apologized.
Why not? I'm waiting.
I've apologized.
Go ahead and do it on camera.
At least 1,000 times.
Do it on camera.
I did it on camera.
When?
When I first explained it.
I remember you saying, I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, babe. I am. I really am sorry about that day.
Thanks. I'm sorry for making you feel like you had to choose.
Don't be afraid to say sorry. And don't be afraid to admit when you're wrong. Those are two huge things to save a relationship right there. You could save so many relationships if everybody just took
that is true.
A little bit of self-accountability.
That is true.
Just a little bit of accountability for their actions. Yeah. It's never one-sided. It's never just your fault. It's never just their fault.
You don't think so? Never.
All right, y'all, that's all we got for you guys today, though. Thank you for sticking around. I know sometimes, well, not sometimes. I just know in this specific situation, it may have felt a little bit uncomfortable, but that's okay.
You think so?
Potentially. Sometimes people get uncomfortable to see other people disagreeing.
Not vibing or whatever?
I don't know that we weren't not vibing, but I just feel like we were disagreeing. And sometimes people find that awkward. If you did, just know that it's normal, right? If you can't even sit through...
In a real relationship.
Yeah, in a real relationship, there's gonna be some moments that are uncomfortable. Like I said in a previous video, progress is never comfortable. Okay, so anyways, we'll see you guys next week for another story time. We got plenty of other things. Don't forget, today is Sunday, so we need you guys to go contribute for the Tea Time Tuesday and Therapy Thursdays. You already know what to do. We have it on our stories. You can go contribute to that. So we will take care of that. And then if you don't already know, I am Hydrated Hero. She is African Beauty. Together we are Josh and Isi. Now you can follow one of us. You can follow two of us. You can follow all three of us. You might as well follow all three of us because we are happy, healthy, and hydrated on all three. But other than that, y'all, until we meet again, peace, love, hair grease, and we out. We good?
I guess.
Can I get a kiss? Don't give me that face if we're not good.
I said we're good. I didn't say I'm loving on you right now.
You give me a kiss though.
No, that's loving on you.
Give me a kiss.
No.
Well, there you have it, folks. Was that a cheek or was that a kiss? I didn't know. My eyes was closed. Come on, give me a good one. I want to feel it. I want to feel it.
Close your eyes. Close them.
No. Yep, there it is. All right, cool. I'll take that. All right.
Right there.
Right there. I'm looking at it. Subscribe. You want to click that button.
You know you
click it.
Also, check this video out
right here.
You might as well.
That's quality.
Quality.
Right
quality
there.
content.
It's quality.
And
of course,
you might as well be right here.
You might as well
be right there.
Because this one's quality too. All this?
Quality.
You click anything you want.
Quality.